100% of what I'm doing done onto the notes and turned in when I tell you to turn it in, you still get full credit for completing notes. Okay. If you only do half, you'll get partial credit. If you do one line, you'll get a 0. Don't plan you're getting credit for that. Okay. You've got to get 75% done to get your 100%. Then you would go back and you'd look at the recording later and fill in the rest. Okay. Fill in what you didn't get when it was live, because you get to use the notes on the test. So you should have finished your reading. Remember, I did that posting yesterday of the agenda for the week. So you're always checking for the agenda of the week to know what page numbers to be reading. Okay. So our topics today are, what are you planning for, and sources of information. Okay. Our first thing, get my notes over where I can see them. Okay. You are making a financial plan to allow you to do or buy the following things. Okay, remember we talked about yesterday that the financial plan is important because it allows you opportunities. By planning ahead, it gives you opportunities. Remember, your cameras are on, but this week I'm allowing you to do just a couple inches of yourself. And then next week it'll be a little bit more. And then the following week will be everybody gets to see us because we are a group together. Okay. So the first thing that you're making a financial plan for, because it is a big deal, is education beyond after high school. Education after high school. Now, I say it is education after high school, not college after high school, because there are different types of education you could be doing after high school. Okay. You could be doing college or trade school. But the point is, you're making the plan since they cost money. And you need to plan how they get paid for. Okay. Now, you do not want to plan that you're going to college with loans, because loans have to be paid back. So the first way you're planning for college is you're looking for scholarships and grants. Okay? That should be your first place, first source of money. So first source of money should always be scholarships and grants, okay? Because that's money you don't have to pay back. Now, I have seen, and I've done high school for a long, long time, there are students that go, well, that scholarship's only for $150. So I'm not going to bother to apply for that scholarship. That's that's a bad way of thinking. Okay. Because that $150 helps pay for some of your books. Because when you get to college, when you get to trade school, when you get beyond high school, you have to buy the book. You have to buy the learning material. It is not free. So you want to apply for those $150 scholarships, apply for the $200 scholarships, apply for all the possible scholarships, no matter how small or how big, because that gets you a pool of money you don't have to pay back. And you don't want to have to pay back money. You don't want to go into debt. Okay. You want the opportunity to go to college, but you don't want the debt. Okay. Second thing you're planning for is emergencies, or what they call a rainy day fund. Okay. And you're planning for those because, like I said yesterday, it's not if an emergency will happen, it's when an emergency will happen. Everybody goes through cycles in their life where something happens to throw the money out of whack. Now, the rainy day fund, that's about, you know, especially with this COVID stuff, there's several people that are not employed right now. And they might have used up all their unemployment money already, and they have to still be able to pay their bills. Okay. So rainy day funds are for life circumstances like losing a job and things like that. So you need to plan for 4 to 6 months of income in savings so that you have money to live off of if something major happens. Something major for your income or your life happens, because it will. It will. Can't tell you how many times I've talked to people that they didn't have the rainy day fund and the engine of the car went out. Those are not cheap at all. And you do not want to be putting stuff on credit wherever possible. You want to have the money to do it. Okay. Okay. The third thing you're planning for is buying a car. Doesn't have to be a new car. You need to have transportation. Okay. Buying a car could be new or used. Doesn't matter. But you need to plan to save up so you can at least have a down payment on buying a car. And one of the chapters we're going over will talk about how buying a car works and different options on buying a car. Okay. You need to plan. Oops, this is number 4. Sorry. You need to plan that in your lifetime, you are buying a house. So new or used, need to save for it. Buying a house, need to save for it. Now, for both the car and the house, you're saving money that you put as a down payment, is what they call it. You're not saving money to buy the whole thing. Okay. If you can get away with no car loan, that's good. I have not seen anybody get away with no house loan though. Okay. Um, and the house loan is one of those loans in your lifetime that's worth having. Okay. Another thing you're saving for is for your retirement. Okay. You're planning on how much money you need to live off of and still do the things you want. Okay. Because you, like I said yesterday, it's no fun living paychecks to paycheck. That's not really living. You can't go do anything. Okay. So you want to plan for enough income that it pays for your everyday bills and some extra so you can go do some of the things that you'd like to do. Okay. The last thing you're making sure you financially plan for is charitable giving. Okay. Charitable giving. You need to plan to give away to charities that matter to you so those charities can help others. Okay. And sometimes it's giving to your church. Sometimes it's giving away to like the American Cancer Society, or it's giving away to the Autism Society, or it's so there's all these charities out there that matter. And if they don't get donations from people, then they can't exist. And so you look for causes and situations that matter to you. And everybody's a little bit different. Okay. So that's the what are you planning for piece. Now we're going to talk about sources of income, sources of information, sources of financial planning information. Okay. Okay. Sources of financial planning information. Waiting for some people to catch up. Remember, if you're handwriting it, that is fine. You're going to be taking pictures of it, and you're going to be putting one picture per page into that Google Doc. If you're typing it, you're just typing straight into it, it's fine. But either way, it goes on the Google Doc. Now, the first place that you can get financial information and help to do financial planning is the internet. Okay. The internet has websites to guide you through planning. And articles to give information to help plan. Ultimately, you're making the plan. Okay. the next source of financial planning information is financial planners or advisors. Okay, they're actually people paid for doing financial planning help. Okay, so these are professionals trained to give guidance. Okay. And there's like different categories. There's the CPA, which stands for Certified Public Accountant. Okay. There's also a CFA, which is a certified CFP, sorry. CFP, Certified Financial Planner. Okay. But either way, you want to make sure you don't just take their advice, you think through and analyze their advice. Don't just take their advice. Research a little yourself. And I'm going to put yourself here because it's the last word I have to write. I don't want to do a whole new paper for that. Okay, so even though you have these paid professionals, you want to be, doing a little research for yourself. You don't want to just trust too many issues. All right, so get your notes turned in. If you are zooming in on your phone, let me stop sharing. If you are